blaming the press. But hey, what about members of her own party that were telling her that?
People saying, get off the public stage and shut up, which is something we're hearing all the time.
Yeah.
How do you? I was really struck by how people said that to me. You know, mostly people in the press, for whatever reason, like, oh, you know, go away, go away. And I had one of the young people who works for me go back and do a bit of research. They never said that to any man who was not elected.
Okay, so that's the reason. Once again, coming back to sexism as her theme, Hillary Clinton says it's the press that's telling her to go away after a series of comments that offended many Trump voters. But there are a few people in her own party, by the way, who've been dropping a few, shall we say, hints as well. Listen.
When does Hillary Clinton ride off into the sunset? I don't want her
not
bashing.
soon enough, I guess.
What's the answer?
Not soon enough.
This was bad. You know, I can't sugarcoat it. She was wrong, and clearly it's not helpful to Democrats going into the midterms, and certainly not going into 2020.
For those of us that are in states that Trump won, we would really appreciate if she would be more careful and show respect to every American voter and not just the ones who voted for her.
Well, maybe she just missed those comments, but let's get to the bottom of it right now with political commentator Madison Gesiotto, The Hill's Joe Concha, and Democratic strategist Evangeline Gomez. Evangeline, I'm going to start with you because you were there. You were at Rutgers just yesterday. And look, you know, she said her researcher did this work. They found that nobody had said this to any male candidate, but they said it to her, and she's blaming the media for it. Do you think there's maybe a little bit more blame to spread around here?
Well, I don't think she was blaming anybody. I think she was just calling out something that existed. There were people who came out in the media and they said, we don't want to hear from you anymore. Just shut up.
In the media, but also in her party.
Exactly. And I mean, there is an issue. There is an issue with sexism in the Republican Party and in the Democratic Party. And it's a messy truth. And so we're here, we're going into midterms, and nobody really wants to touch upon this issue. And she's saying, I'm allowed to speak as to what I think happened in the election and about issues that she saw that came to core.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of women, by the way, I should point out, that are telling her to go away. We heard from some women.
Are these women, are they directed by men to say this? That's something you always have to think about. Who's pulling the strings here?
Whoa, okay, so then you believe in that sentiment that somehow a woman is controlled by a man. So Heidi Heitkamp is somehow being told by a man to say Hillary Clinton go away?
I'm not saying that that's Heidi Heitkamp's situation. But what I'm saying is, I think when somebody comes out of an election, and as Hillary Clinton had stated yesterday, we didn't hear anybody telling Romney, McCain, Kerry, shut up, we don't want to hear from you anymore. Well, when they gave comments about the election.
Quite as much as she was? I mean, does it help her cause when she says, frankly, exactly what you just said, that somehow women are most influenced by their husbands or by other men, and that's why she didn't win this election? I mean, I look at that comment like that and what you frankly just said to me and to our viewers, and I say, do you not like women? Does she not like women? Why would you think for 2 seconds that a woman is being controlled by a man and therefore being told to say these things? I mean, these are established politicians that have come out saying these things.
Exactly, and they may feel that way. I'm not saying that they don't. I mean, they may feel that way about this situation. But what I am saying is we need to look at sexism in every political party. I ran for office in 2009 as a woman and as a Latina woman, so I had a double whammy against me.
I have no problem with looking at sexism, but I do have a problem with somehow,
and I will tell you, it does exist,
assuming that women do what men tell them to do, whether it's who to vote for or what to say about Hillary Clinton, because Madison, to me, that suggests you don't have a whole lot of faith in women. So why should women have any faith in you?
You know, I think it's pretty disrespectful, to be quite honest. As a woman myself, I understand that sexism is very real myself, and I'm sure many other women watching this show today have gone through situations where they've experienced this. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton, you know, she has the First Amendment right just like the rest of us. It doesn't mean people have to like what she says, including people in her own party, including the press, including whoever decides they're sick of hearing from her. They have the right to say that, just like she has the right to say what she said. So to imply that women like Heidi Heitkamp and others can't make decisions for themselves on what they say or if they go against Hillary Clinton, that's ridiculous.
So Evangeline, is a man telling Madison to say that right now?
No, and I don't think a man is telling her to say that. But what I'm talking about
That's what you
is
said, though. That is what you said.
That's not what I said.
It is what you said. Why don't you rewind later and take a look at it?
I know what I said, and that's not what
and
I
so
said.
do we.
Perhaps a lot of these women are being told by men to say
By
this.
people in
And
the
that's what
party.
I'm telling you. If that's the message,
Exactly.
I don't
So it
think it's a
doesn't
very
matter where the
empowering
man's
message.
coming from.
Perhaps.
You're not gonna
let's
win
throw this
women
out here.
over that way.
I'm not trying to win anybody over. I'm talking about a culture that exists in politics, in the media. You would know. Wouldn't you?
Look, here's what I will give
there's an
you.
issue of sexism
should
that
never be
needs
tolerated
to be
in any
spoken
organization,
about.
in any industry whatsoever. However, Joe Concha, I don't see this as an issue of sexism. I see this as an issue of a poor candidate. In other words, if you had put a woman who had some warmth to her, who had some spontaneity to her, who had some humor to her, I think she could have won. I don't. Can you, in good conscience, actually tell me that if you have Hillary Clinton up there versus, I don't know, any other woman, frankly, that has a little bit of humor and self-deprecation and all those things you kind of need, that Hillary Clinton is really and truly your best choice as a candidate? Joe, take that one, because to me, she was a flawed candidate. They might have won had they put Joe Biden or a female Joe Biden up.
Many Democrats would agree with you on that front, Trish. Look, you know why Mrs. Clinton's research team couldn't find any male candidates who ever was told to shut up before? Because no losing candidate has ever acted this way before. You know what March 31st marks? It's the 200th day since What Happened came out. The book that said 50 reasons why, besides herself, why she lost the election. And now people have started tuning out because that speech at Rutgers University yesterday, she only got paid $25,000 for it. Let's put that in context. The Snooki from Jersey Shore got $7,000 more. We remember her. She's also the owner, since we're on a business, of the Snooki collection, which includes the Snooki Ultra Dark 70 times browns your skin firming tanning bed lotion. The point is, no, you should, because people aren't paying to listen to her anymore. All right, we're at 200 days of talking about this. We don't want to hear the therapy session in broad daylight anymore.
Here's
Trish, the American people have spoken.
To you, Evangeline, do you really think she can do anything to help your party at this point? You're going on this tour, if you're her, and you're saying, this is why I didn't win, and this is why I didn't win, and it's women's fault that I didn't win. And how does that possibly help you for 18 or 2020, the party it is?
Trish, I think you bring up a good point. She didn't say that that's why she didn't win. What she spoke about yesterday was a double standard that exists in politics, and it exists in the media, and it exists in other sectors. For example, she says something. She's like you stated before, she's stated as not having a personality, not being friendly. There are men in politics and in other sectors who are not friendly, who don't have a personality, and we don't bring that out. We don't bring that out. We don't bring that out. We don't bring that out.
And why he won in Pennsylvania, you know why? Because he had isn't there a song? I'm about to
no, not personality, Trish.
Personality. But you need it. You need
Trish,
it. And
he had a message,
you need
Trish.
it in politics.
But she was talking about post-election and the fact that she is allowed to speak her truth and to give her opinion as to what happened at the election. And she should not have to hear from people in her party or from others, shut up, go away, because other men who were similarly situated were able to
Do they not
speak and were
have
not
the same
told to
First
shut up.
Amendment right that she does? Did they not have that First Amendment right to say what they feel about anybody, including Hillary Clinton?
Why is it directed at her?
Because they don't like what she's saying.
It's because
it doesn't matter whether she's a man or a woman. If they feel, if they feel that she's hurting their party, they should be able to speak up, just as we would on our party.
Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Hit us with your best shot.
Okay. This is all I want you to picture now in a parallel universe. Picture for over 500 days since the election, Donald Trump going out and doing interview after interview, talking about why he lost and why it wasn't his fault, and picture the media reaction around that. It would be scorn and ridicule. Instead, whenever Hillary Clinton's at a forum like this or does an interview, we see this from anchors of yes, yes. Donald Trump would not get that treatment. That I can guarantee you.
And you wouldn't be able to say, you wouldn't be able to call sexism if it was Donald Trump. Last word to you and
I have a question. Do you think a female candidate who would run like Donald Trump would have won? Do you think so?
You know, look,
honestly,
I look at the appeal of Sarah Palin, and I think it's an interesting contrast. Sarah Palin had a tremendous amount of appeal. Tremendous. Why is that? I mean, she's a woman. but she had some personality. And so, again, I think that that ultimately matters. And when you're picking a candidate, you want one that's got some fire. And she just didn't have enough of it.
And she didn't have a message either, Trish.
Fire! She's all about fire. She had too much fire, and I think people were uncomfortable with it. Too much fire. And I think the public was uncomfortable with that aspect of it.
You too much thinking that.
And she didn't have a message, Trish. One candidate had a message, one didn't.
Have a great weekend.